What's happening, everybody? Hello and welcome back to Total Blast, where we discuss about everything Marvel and the MCU. She-Hulk episode 5 just got released, and yet again, it is nothing short of an excellent production. In this episode, we finally got a Daredevil confirmation as he was teased at the end of the movie. So, we'll be looking forward to seeing Matt Murdock soon. In a video we did previously, we talked about Daredevil possibly being connected to She-Hulk, and we discussed a few legal connections. We said that since Jennifer and Daredevil were both lawyers, the connection would definitely be in a courtroom. However, the She-Hulk creators promise us that we'll be seeing Matt Murdock in a different form, a lighter and action-free Matt Murdock. So, I guess we'll have to wait and find out what the lighter version of Matt Murdock would look like in the coming episode. We're talking about everything in this episode, explaining all the Easter eggs and major comic connections. Also be giving out a brand new PlayStation 5 to a lucky subscriber. More on how to win at the end of this video. If this is your first time, please subscribe and enable the post notification bell so you don't miss out on subsequent videos. She-Hulk episode 4 ended with Titania suing Jennifer for the use of the name She-Hulk. Apparently, Titania already trademarked the name and sued Jennifer for using it. This was quite hilarious because Jennifer didn't even choose the name herself. A reporter called her She-Hulk and the name stuck, just like the way people started calling Bruce Banner Smart Hulk. This episode started off where episode 4 ended. Titania opened a beauty line with the name She-Hulk. Titania is everywhere, including billboards, ad, and on podcasts. We hear Jen listening to a Pro Se podcast, which in real life is a legal podcast that discusses the law. Jen's cousin Chet shows up asking for She-Hulk to sign some She-Hulk product, which shows how Titania has entered every aspect of her life. Apparently, people are buying this product thinking that she's the real She-Hulk. Jennifer and Nikki went to where Titania is launching her product just to tell her to stop selling those products with the She-Hulk fame. In this scene, we see that Jennifer has zero fashion sense or even beauty product. She knows absolutely nothing about beauty product or how they are used. People who don't know that she's the real She-Hulk actually walk past her and go meet Titania, who they probably think is the real She-Hulk. Back at the office, Jen shows how attached she actually is to the name, and even though before she tried to focus on being Jen, we see Jennifer and Nikki talking about the She-Hulk name. Here, Jennifer alleged that she's over the She-Hulk name, but it appears that she is lying because she was angrily crushing her stapler. Initially, Jennifer didn't want to be addressed as She-Hulk. She wanted to retain her identity as a lawyer and also addressed as Jennifer Walters. We see in episode 1, Bruce told Jennifer that she might not get her identity back and might just go on to being stuck with being She-Hulk. Now, the name She-Hulk is stuck to Jennifer, and she sees it as not just a name, but as an identity, which was exactly what Bernard told her at the beginning, that the people would choose the name for you and it would stick. Paul goes to Nikki to ask if she stands in line with him to get some Iron Man 3s, which are actually the sneakers that were advertised in episode 2. This is a callback from episode 2 where we see Jen on her laptop where the Iron Man 3 sneakers were listed. It also popped up in the credit image where we see Pog showing them off. However, there are also lots of different superhero sneakers collection, and some are really interesting. So are those of Frogmans, who will be popping up later in the series. Others that we saw were for Cyclops, Deadpool, Wolverine, The Thing, Captain America, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel once, and another one that belongs to Storm. So learn about Pog's drip broker called Alonzo. Jennifer is seen watching Titania on her laptop. She turns to the audience and says, "I'm over it. I really am." Of course, it's a lie, because it is obvious that she isn't over the fact that someone has just stolen her name and her new identity. We cut to another scene where we see Nikki and Pug went to the clothing shop that was disguised as Bubba Cafe. This scene is quite hilarious because initially the cafe attendant denied that the shop was indeed a clothing shop because he thought that they were cops, but later took them to the hidden room where he showed them some handmade Avengers costume. Inside this room, we saw a tons of merch from Thor's hammer to Captain America's shield and t-shirts that have some very funny inscriptions like AVINGERS and AVINGERS. This is quite funny and it got me rolling. I mean, Kevin Feige should consider giving us the AVINGERS. We honestly wouldn't mind. Eventually, Nikki and Pog leave with the contact of the real designer who makes suits for superheroes. Now, a scene opens outside the building with Nikki and Pog standing in front of the elevator trying to gain entrance. Apparently, this is the designer's shop. This is quite sketchy because a fashion designer wouldn't want to be hideous, but they would want to be out there where people can see them. But that's not the case with this designer. But we would later find out why this was so. Actually, it is because of the caliber of clients that he works for. They need to be confidential. We will explain later in this video. Eventually, this designer named Luke allowed them in after Nikki told them that She-Hulk is an Avenger. In another scene, Jennifer is seen in Holloway's office and he looked quite troubled, and Jennifer inquired what the problem was. He asked Jennifer why he saw a billboard advertising She-Hulk Booty Boost Smoothie. Holloway's expression when he said this was everything funny, and I couldn't stop laughing. This definitely has to be the most hilarious episode so far. Just like some of the things that we've mentioned earlier so far, that in the post-credit sketch, we also see Holloway drinking these booty boost in the post-credit sketch. Here, Jennifer tried to explain how the whole Tatiana She-Hulk drama came about, but Holloway wasn't buying it, and he cut her short immediately. Holloway immediately reminded her that she was the face of the Superhuman Law Division at GLK&H, and he needed to uphold that. He went on to say that he won't be in any frivolous, messy lawsuits. Jennifer said that she would fix the mess, but Holloway said, "No, you won't," meaning that she'll be getting a lawyer that can represent her because she cannot represent herself. Mallory Book was the lawyer to defend Jennifer. Just like we said earlier, that new characters from the comics are going to be making appearances in She-Hulk. Mallory will be defending Jennifer against the lawsuit with Titania. In the comics, Mallory was a next-level lawyer that was nicknamed the face that never lost a case. She was extremely formidable, but due to all the chaos that Jen brought into her life, she ended up starting to hate her. In the MCU, she's portrayed by Renee Ellis Goldsberry. One notable thing about Mallory was her fashion sense, which was the opposite of Jennifer's fashion sense. In a conversation with Mallory, Jennifer was asked why she didn't trademark the She-Hulk name earlier. In defense, she asked if Thor and Doctor Strange trademarked their names, and Mallory told her that both Thor and Doctor Strange were their real names, which is quite interesting because a lot of people would not believe that those were their real names. The scene of the court session between Titania and Jennifer opens. Titania alleged that Jennifer was using the She-Hulk name, which was legally hers, and Mallory, in her defense, stated that although Jennifer didn't trademark the name, that she had started using the name way before Titania trademarked it. The both parties presented video evidences to back their claims, and we see the video of Jennifer where reporters were calling her She-Hulk, and she said, "I will not answer to that name. You know why? Because that is not my name." In defense, Mallory presented video evidences of the very first interview that Jennifer had after winning the Blonsky case. In this video, she admitted that some random guy came up with the name She-Hulk, and whether she likes it or not, she's forever She-Hulk. The judge requested for more evidences to back their claims and adjourn the case. Jen and Nikki finally meet Luke. Luke is an exclusive designer who has some amazing top clients under his belt. Nikki introduces Jennifer and says, "Meet the She-Hulk," and Jen quickly corrects her by saying, "No, Jennifer Walters." And Luke cuts her by saying, "Never heard of you," saying my work is impeccable. So, we would understand what he meant by impeccable towards the end of this episode. Nikki goes on to sweet-talk Luke into accepting to make an outfit for Jen by saying that she's going to be an Avenger, and even said that the Hulk is a cousin, and Luke turning down and asking Nikki, "By blood?" Luke goes on to ask, "What kind of superheroing do you do? Do you need built-in weaponry or fire resistance?" And she quickly halts him by saying that she doesn't need such suits, she only needs business suits. Luke replies that everything he makes stands out into the highest combat standard. After a lot of back and forth, Jen asks if he can make something that will fit both her body size, referring to both the Hulk and Jennifer. Remember in episode 1, Bruce tells her that spandex, the stretchy material, should be her best friend. This is quite ironic because as we proceed in the new episodes, we see how Jennifer's career is slowly being sidelined, as people don't really care about her career being a lawyer, but except for her being She-Hulk. Jennifer did everything possible to keep her personal life as a lawyer afloat, just like Banner said to her in the very first episode that she would have to embrace her new identity. In another scene, we see Mallory Book and Todd, the weird date that Jennifer had, standing and talking. Jennifer and Nikki walk in while Jennifer admires Mallory's dress, and she immediately sees Todd. John Baz reprised his role as Todd. We saw Todd in the last episode, and we allege that he could probably have something to do with the Wrecking Crew. On his date with Jennifer, he asked her that what could penetrate her body. He even asked if vibranium could penetrate her skin. These are very creepy questions to ask someone on the very first date. Again, in the post-credit scene of episode 4, we saw John Barr's character written as Todd/Hawk Todd, which is quite interesting because he isn't a hawk. Something is definitely up, and him appearing again in episode 5 means that he could be a developing character and we would have to see much of him much later. After the unplanned meeting with Todd, Jennifer figured out the way to win the case against Titania. He would invite all the dates who she met as She-Hulk, and they would all testify that they met her through the dating app and that she's been using the name She-Hulk before Titania trademarked it. This plan actually worked out for Jennifer, but it was more embarrassing than we thought. Jennifer's date testified in her defense, but said some hurting and uncomfortable things about her. The date we saw in the last episode, who was at Jennifer's house, openly said that she wasn't his type. In episode 4, he was on a date with Jennifer when Wong interrupted their date. Apparently, he was attached to the She-Hulk and not Jennifer. This is really funny because Jennifer and She-Hulk are literally the same person. So, what exactly is Jennifer doing wrong? Tanya was eventually asked to stop using the She-Hulk name, and she was asked to recall all the product that she had already supplied. I guess it's a win for Jennifer, and she got the She-Hulk name back. A name which has slowly become our identity. After the victory in court, we see Jen ask her fellow legal partner Mallory Book, played by Renee Elsa Goldberry, out on a drink. And while having drinks, they basically talked about the struggles that women go through in the dating world. This shows that the show is supporting women's rights in a day-to-day struggle for gender equality. Jennifer goes back to Luke, the designer, to pick a suit, after Mallory teased her again about her dress sense. While fitting the clothes, Luke immediately goes to cover a package which he made, and he said, "Hello, this shouldn't be left out in the open." Tinsley, does client confidentiality mean nothing to you? This is noteworthy, and this is entirely my thought. I think that the second outfit that Luke handed to Jen was actually a party sequins dress that we would later see Jen rock in future episodes. I guess we would have to wait and find out. We also see an Easter egg of the Daredevil costume that was at the very end of the episode. Whilst Luke handed Jen the outfit, he worked towards a box, and before he could bend to close it, the box which had the Daredevil element with the caption, "Pick up," there was a suit bag that revealed a red leathery suit that was also suggesting that the Daredevil might appear in the next episode. Daredevil will of course be popping up in Echo before going on his main show in Daredevil Born Again. This is pretty much how the episode ends, and there is no post-credit scenes, which is quite unusual. But as we mentioned earlier about the cartoon credit scenes, we see Pork holding his exclusive Iron Man 3 sneakers with so much excitement in his face. But what a lot of people don't realize is that there are tons of exclusive stickers in the background, including Easter eggs for X-Men and Deadpool. We see the Wolverine and Cyclops sneakers, which indicates that the X-Men mutants are already in the MCU. I guess we would have to wait and find out. Well, we'll be giving out a brand new PlayStation 5 to a lucky subscriber once we hit 1,000 subscribers. And all you have to do to win is keep watching, liking, and commenting, and also share, because one lucky winner will be chosen from the comment section. And again, we want to say a big thank you to everyone who has brought us this far. We appreciate you guys. What are your thoughts about this video? How do you think Daredevil will be introduced? Please don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Subscribe and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss out on any of our latest Marvel news. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I hope to see you in the next one.